Everything's really too fast-paced to stop and look at a list. I do have a vision board, though. I have a little picture of space, and I said, give myself space. Graduating, I did that. It's a way to validate, but also move forward. My name is Moon. I'm 23 years old. I went into foster care the first time when I was 4 years old, and from the ages 4 to 16, I was in and out of foster care or relative care. My biological parents, they struggled with substance use disorders, mental health disorders, and we were homeless a lot when I was growing up. Education was always very difficult for me. In 5th grade, I changed schools 11 times. I had my hopes and dreams of being a movie star and doing all of these things, but I didn't think that I was gonna make it out of high school. I had no plans to go to college. I never thought of it as an option for myself. There was so much instability, just lack of support really everywhere, and it was really hard for my young self to deal with. I didn't have proper coping mechanisms, so I did try to end my own life. I stayed at a mental hospital for a few days. So when I was in the hospital, my adoptive mom, I don't remember how she found out exactly. I just know that one day a nurse came out and was like, hey, you have a visitor. And I was like, who the heck is visiting me? And I went into the visitation room and Peggy was there. So she had a bag of dollar store makeup and a fuzzy blanket. That's when she asked me if I would want to move in to her house and have her and my adoptive dad foster me at the time. And then a few months after living there, Mom pulled me into the kitchen and said, can we be your forever family? And she asked if they could adopt me. And of course I cried like I am now. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. That's when I was referred to the ILS program, which from my perspective, a stranger, Mykala, showed up at my house and was like, hey.
Right away when I met her, it was clear that she had a lot of goals, but there was maybe a gap in understanding of what it took to get to those goals. When you're looking at youth in foster care and how often they're transitioning, they don't go on to further education, many become homeless, and so programs like ILS are meant to be that step to prevent that from happening. We're looking at what are their goals, what are their dreams, what are their hopes, and how can we get them to that point. We have the ability to talk them through these different scenarios and even have certain funding that allows us to move the youth into their first apartment so that they can have their own home and they're not burdened right off the bat with that first and last month's rent.
I thought I would be able to get an apartment by myself. I thought I would be able to do the right paperwork for things. I thought I would be able to do a resume by myself and know exactly how to do it. Turns out I didn't know how to do any of it. Mykala helped me with that. They also really helped with my college applications and giving me confidence in going forward with my life instead of staying stagnant, which is what my plan was. I'm really lucky that I had the resources that I did. That's something that my biological parents didn't have growing up, and maybe if they did have them, they would be in a better spot. I went from not wanting to graduate high school to now I want to go get my master's. I got guardianship of my siblings and I have a really cool job. I do have a support system and it has changed my life in so many more ways than I could even think of.
All of us are so proud of Cailyn. It's really incredible to look back at that 16-year-old girl who I met 7 years ago and to hear what her dreams were. This spring when she graduated, to actually sit there, to be at the graduation ceremony was a truly just surreal moment of this is what we have been talking about for years. This has been the goal and here we are.
You know the saying, like when one door closes, another one opens, and that's like about opportunity and stuff. So I don't feel like any doors are closed, but I feel like you've opened all of the doors. So I think that it makes all of the difference in pretty much any foster kid's life.